The chamber was packed, the cameras rolling, and the tension so thick you could almost feel it vibrating through the marble walls. It wasn't just another hearing, it was a battle of ideals, values, and character. On one side sat Representative Ilhan Omar, known for her fiery rhetoric and uncompromising style. On the other, Senator John Kennedy, a man equally famous for his sharp wit and his ability to cut through noise with a single sentence. No one knew that this moment, seemingly another political clash, would soon spiral into one of the most talked-about confrontations in America. The debate had been going on for over an hour, growing increasingly hostile. Omar leaned forward, her voice sharp as a blade, dismissing Kennedy's arguments with a wave of her hand. "Sit down, boy," she said, her words echoing across the room like a slap in the face. The insult hung in the air, shocking many who thought they'd seen it all in politics. Some gasped, others shifted in their seats, while the cameras zoomed in, capturing every second of the drama. Kennedy didn't flinch. His face remained calm, his eyes steady. He leaned back in his chair, folded his hands, and let the silence stretch. Everyone expected him to fire back with anger, maybe even walk out, but instead, he took a slow breath and leaned into the microphone. "Congresswoman," he said softly, "I was raised by a woman who worked 3 jobs just to keep food on our table. She taught me to respect people, even when they don't respect me. She also taught me never to confuse loudness with wisdom." The chamber went silent. His words weren't shouted, they weren't filled with venom, they were steady, controlled, and cutting in a way no insult could ever be. Omar's smirk faltered. People in the audience shifted again, but this time it wasn't from discomfort, it was from admiration. Kennedy had just turned the tables without lowering himself to her level. But Kennedy didn't stop there. He went on to explain that true leadership isn't about belittling others, but about listening even when it's hard. He shared a story about his father, who had once been humiliated in public but chose patience and dignity instead of revenge. That choice, Kennedy explained, didn't make his father weak, it made him strong. Because strength is shown not in how loudly we respond, but in how deeply we stand by our principles. As Kennedy spoke, the atmosphere in the chamber shifted. This wasn't a political speech anymore, it was a life lesson. Even his critics, who normally rolled their eyes at his folksy style, were moved. Social media lit up almost instantly, clips of his calm response spreading faster than wildfire. Hashtags praising Kennedy's composure trended nationwide, while Omar faced backlash for her remark. After the hearing, reporters swarmed Kennedy, asking how he managed to stay calm after such a public insult. He smiled gently and said, "Because America's watching. And if I lose my temper, I don't just represent myself, I represent the people who believe in me. I won't dishonor them by trading dignity for insults." That moment became more than just a headline. It became a symbol. People across the country shared the clip in schools, churches, and workplaces, not as a piece of politics, but as a reminder of something bigger, the power of respect, even in the face of disrespect. Ilhan Omar's words were soon overshadowed by Kennedy's response. What was meant to tear him down ended up lifting him higher, making his message resonate with millions who were tired of political shouting matches. His answer reminded Americans that grace under fire still mattered, that strength wasn't always about striking back, but about standing tall. And so, the day that began as just another heated debate turned into something unforgettable. John Kennedy's response shocked all of America, and not because it was brutal, not because it was savage, but because it was something far rarer. It was dignified, it was unshakable, it was the kind of strength that doesn't just win arguments, it wins respect. By the end, the message was clear: in a world full of noise, sometimes the quietest response is the one that shakes the ground the hardest.